Hey everyone, we are live again, and today we will show a new component and also one of our cool templates that we have. What's it called, Denon?
The template is the simple furniture manufacturing.
Nice. I will start here with the new component. It's
Let's see.
pretty nice one, pretty simple as well. However, it's really useful. It's the chat component. So if you come here, here, and then you come down here, you see it's in beta because we just released it. You give it a name, you select a table, and even a filter if you want, and that's it. It's enough. For example, here, what you can do is basically bring the chat to your app so you can have multiple chats. So imagine if you have a chat for a project, a chat for risks, a chat for a problem, ticket support, a new client, whatever you want to do, you can have like multiple chats on one screen, and all of this information will stay saved inside the record. So here, for example, inside SpaceX, I have SpaceX here as well. If you see here, you have my message here as well. So
Wow, dang, that's pretty cool.
and you can navigate between like different records. You can even add it to the filter magnet. So if I come here to new 123, it changed both of them because I connected both of them. Total flop or something like you can just select and choose the way that you want to see your information. You can have multiple chats in the same app, so it's pretty useful. It's a pretty nice way to use the functionality that we already have inside Jest, which is like conversations inside records. So all the talks you can just come here and tag people if you want
Dang,
and
that's
send
cool, right?
a message. So that's it for the new component. It's a nice one. It's a simple one, however, pretty useful. So let's go to
Yeah, I'm
our template.
surprised. I didn't even know anything about that. That I'm just trying to think about all the cool things that you could do with that. Again, the primary focus being like, hey, let's chat about a specific record. Man, that
Mhm.
could be amazing.
Yeah, and the ability
Okay.
to be able to chat about different types of information in the same place is really nice as well. Because sometimes you want to talk about a bug, sometimes you want to talk about a specific ticket or delivery date or anything that you want. You can have everything in one place instead of going to the table to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very cool. Let's see. It looks like I might be able to make this a little bit bigger and still fit in our screen there. Let's make it as big as we can, I guess. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, so this is from. Let's just open this up so you can see in the templates. So if you were going to go look for this one, this would be. We're going to do this furniture. It's the simple furniture manufacturing template. This one right here, for free. And when you install this, after it installs, you'll get a notification and you'll see that you'll have the simple furniture manufacturing right here, and then each one of the tables and the app that goes with it. So you can always know that which one's the apps and which ones are the tables based on the symbols that show up here. And in this case, right, the whole concept is how can you keep track of maybe a manufacturing line? So it's not specifically like only for furniture, that you could use this same system for, but that's what is set up here to kind of do. If you're going to be building customized furniture or you have a very specific sets of them, if you're going to be working with multiple vendors, right, this is really great for that. And so, first of all, when you first start, you're going to need to add some furniture and you're going to be adding some vendors. But in here, you'll be able to give the furniture's type name and type. So it's like, oh, it's a type of chair, the lounge chair. What's it say? You could drop in an image, set who's the vendor. In this case, we just have the two vendors in here. Whether it's in stock or not, its cost, size, weight, materials, color, schematics. And in this case, we're not really like assigning it to any of these orders or anything right now because Well, I'm just saying it's not required, but yeah. So let's just leave that one for now. And then adding in vendors. So here would be a vendor name. So let's just add in one. Actually, this one will be Bruno and Damon LLC or something like that. Should be like studios, right? And then we can have our logo, our closest showroom, all the information for it, etc. And maybe there would be a contact for the sales team. Cool. Create. And now in the vendors table, you'd see all the vendors for products and who their sales contact would be, etc. And in here under these two buttons is the specific table, or rather the Kanban view of the order pipeline under the client's orders. So that in this case, you can use the statuses for orders, and in this case, see them and also perhaps move them. So you can see that like this one is Rebecca Enterprises. They purchased something specifically. It's in the preparing state right now. And then you can just move these as you need. Down below, you'll have fulfill by dates. Like here's in February. I just realized that I'm running this in Portuguese. I wonder, should we change that really quick? Well, if anybody wants to know, you can go to your configurations and go to your idioma and region if you're in Portuguese, or in English, it would be the language and region, and then refresh. Oops, maybe I didn't select it all the way. Try and refresh here. There we go. Now we're in English. Should be able to refresh all of our windows. There we go. Didn't even notice. Okay, so instead of febrero and marzo, we got February. I can't even say February. And you're fulfilled by dates for each one of those orders. Now in here, right, again, when you're using an app or a dashboard, right, you're going to try and pull in all of the tools you're going to be using to work this system. So right here is where you can add in new orders. Now this one's one of the, I like these right here particularly, and in this use case, right, because you can add in a new order with its order number, it's fulfilled by its current state, and you can drop in an invoice and the client. But you can also add in the details for the order, which would be the specific furniture items. And once you've added one, you can add another and another, right? That's really cool. Then you would have orders this month, your number of orders total, which actually I wonder if that one's, how this one's set. Yep, all time, all orders. But you might have to change some of those once it gets too many or the like. All the different pieces of furniture that you have. And then here's some of that filtering action, specifically, or in this case, for the furniture showing in this piece here. So you could search furniture and those records, right? So ramp. I'm going to show the ramp bookshelf. And then here is where you'd be able to enable filters for in stock or out of stock. Well, in this case, I marked both. So just so everybody's aware, you want to be like in stock, out of stock. And then you can see all of the places where this is filtering is just enabled by this. Actually, you know what I would do? Let's just adjust this really quick while we're in it. Here's how easy it would be to just adjust the colors, right? So just to be a little bit clearer. Boom, in stock and out of stock. I like that. Nothing's in stock and out of stock at the same time, though, so clicking both doesn't work. Okay, so then there's just a couple of graphs here for the types of furniture, orders by the clients, each of the vendors. And if you click here, you can go right to that table, right? So we just have, like right here is the one that we just added. Then here's where some of the more important pieces come from, right? Where it's the ordered items. For each of the orders, they're going to show up in here, and of course in that same table. But they're also linked back to the furniture items and any of the, in this case it calls them sub orders, which is the like where you would put in the order numbers. Like when we were doing it up here, here's where you would see each one of the the order numbers. Cool. And then right here is just to kind of show you an option for viewing in a Kanban view. Perhaps this is more specific around your inventory, right? So this maybe would be this furniture inventory or whatever you're building or manufacturing, let's say. So you can also hover over these to determine like what types there are, and seeing, of course, their pictures, viewing it. Of course, if you click into it, you'll see the full record. This is a cool way to kind of just see all of your different inventory items. Now, some of the more important pieces here is that you will need to make sure to fill out your vendors. You're gonna have to build out some of your furniture and setting in the types. Or in this case, again, this could be any type of product that you're doing. So you would come in here and you'd be like, okay, let's get rid of all of this sample data and then adjust the item types to whatever you would be using, right? So if you're selling, beauty products, right, it would be like, oh, shampoo or whatever it is, right? You would come in here and set that up, setting their cost, size, weights, materials, all the good stuff. And then in each one of these, also, we also made this add order button. You can set its where it shows up. So perhaps this would be better up in the beginning, but when you're clicking here, it's saying adding an order for whichever line you're on. So in this case, I'm saying I'm adding an order for a ramp bookshelf. So it's really great to have something that's in line sometimes to be able to then just create an order right off of that. Now, what's cool is, again, where you're going to do your work would be somewhere right here. So in this case, that same button is set to show up at the very beginning, right? So you know what your product name will be, and here's where you can just add the order. The same thing we were just doing right there. So all that is just in here where you can adjust the sort order for all of it. And of course, if something isn't in here, for example, like created at and who created it may be useful or may not be. Or you may just need to remove something like a link or a description or whatever, schematics, if you didn't need them there, which is pretty cool. Because again, you're trying to give yourself, or rather your team too, the capacity to do the things that they need to do the quickest here, right? All of that done in the dashboard. So then here's where you can set your vendor contacts and link them back to the specific vendor. And then, but you can have multiple contacts for each vendor, right? So sometimes maybe in here, what you would want to do is add in an additional note or a role or maybe a checkbox, right? A checkbox might be interesting where it's like primary contact. And then you'd be able to kind of determine if that was the primary contact or not, right? Per company. So if Kara, Rex, and Kai had worked for the same company, then one of them is probably going to be your main contact, but then that way you can have multiples in it. What do you think, Bruno? Anything you would add to that aspect?
It depends a lot, like on how much information do you need about your vendor. Like probably like address, this kind of stuff may be interesting for this kind of industry because you need to actually ship stuff from your vendors, and maybe you need to send something or they need to send something. So address, some tax information sometimes, because if you are maybe in Europe where you need to send to different countries, or even I don't know, in US, like from different states, maybe they have like different regulations for taxes and so on. So I would add more fiscal information maybe, because it's pretty common for products or like real products, not like digital products, to have this kind of implications or these kind of problems.
Yeah, that is really good. So we'd have probably like tax information and shipping information, maybe like some documents as well, like their contracts we could have put into here, etc. Yeah, I like it. So one of the questions that we had, this is pretty much the overview of the simple furniture manufacturing template. It's pretty straightforward. This one does have quite a few different tables and things that you could do to extend to your very specific needs. So let us know if this one doesn't work for you, then request something that might be more specific to your use case, and then we'll work with you perhaps to improve upon either this one or another one, or create one that's very specific to your custom needs, as it might be useful for other people as well. And any
Yeah,
builders out there, go ahead and build your own as well.
this one actually is called like simple manufacture, something like this, because it doesn't have automations and other structures that may be interesting for the specific case. But what they do have is a way for you to understand how to connect your data. This is the hardest part, and it's easy once you know the answer to how to connect. However, if you start from scratch, sometimes it's harder if you do not have experience with like data relationship and this kind of stuff. So it's a good template to understand like how should I connect my supplier with inventory, or maybe like a specific product or on the process itself. And so it's a nice one for this kind of stuff. And
Totally
what
agree.
we could do is like add more processes, add more complexity there with inventories or more automations. And in a way, this is a nice starting point for a company. Usually for a manufacturer operation, you need like a little bit more structure, but it's a nice way to start, or a nice way to at least understand how you should start your own gesture if you want to do something similar.
Yeah. One thing I was going to show if we had time was we kind of updated the tricks now, so you can do a little bit more things. And I was thinking we could even do it to where, how would we add a button to then update a field for a future date?
Do you want me to share, bring back your
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, if you can. I think it's still available. Right here is in the community. So Marcos just posted this today. Appreciate that. And Fernando and everyone's work on this is great. So what you're going to be able to use inside of tricks is you'll be able to use date and current user to do a few things. And in here, we kind of cover how you can set, like, okay, if the date is today, and then you can set how the date's structured, the formatting for it. And then you can also add days. I believe you could subtract days as well. Here's kind of a quick view of how you could use this. So let's just look at this a little bit. So it's like, this one is a button that is called schedule follow-up. And so what it's going to do is adjust this date field right here when you were to click it. So imagine, in this case, it's trying to say, okay, when you click this button, schedule a follow-up in 5 days. So then what's put in there is when this button is clicked, then in the column, so here's all the columns, right? Record ID, and follow up and next and owner and different things like that, is we're putting in here this follow up, and that is using this date information. So it's saying date today with year, month, day, and add in 5 days to it. So then let's just watch this really quick. When that button is clicked for schedule follow up, then the follow up will be fulfilled with 5 days into the future when this video was created, which was created today, in fact. And now you know what I've been watching is differential equations on YouTube. But very, very fascinating, the work that we've done on this. You can also get current email. And this is really nice too, is if instead of maybe having a hard-coded email, you would have it to where the current user's email is then going to go inside of a trick, whether it's for a button that's filling out another field, or whether in this case it could send an email, or it's sending, some kind of a message in Slack or whatever. So that's what I wanted to show off today. I thought that was really great, and our team did a great job kind of putting everything together.
Cool, nice. So see everyone next week again with another template. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Take it easy. See you, Bruno.